Welcome to Sarah's Summer School. Quick disclaimer, this video is for informational purposes only. It is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any illness. Thank you for attending, and let's get started. "90% of women have it, whether you are active, sedentary, curvy, skinny, tall, short. What do we all have in common? It is cellulite. Today, that's what we're going to be talking about. And I am going to hopefully have a couple visuals for you so that you can understand a little bit more about what cellulite is and what it isn't, and how we can reduce the appearance of it. So before we talk about cellulite, we do need to kind of understand a little bit more about the body and fascia. So fascia is what we're going to talk about today. And fascia is actually directly tied to cellulite, but if you've heard of cellulite, the chances are you might not have heard of fascia unless you are in a body working type of profession. So there are 4 different types of fascia, but basically what fascia is it's connective tissue. So it runs in, through, around the whole body, and it simultaneously holds things, separates them, and connects them. So like how your heart always stays in the same place, or how, all of your organs and everything aren't just floating around in the body, how they have a specific place and purpose. It's because they're being held in place by connective tissue, or what is called fascia. And so fascia isn't like a solid thing like a muscle. It's more like spider webbing. So it's kind of like sticky, and it stretches easily, but it's still, it holds things together, right? So the first type of fascia is called structural, and I have this, it's not an orange, it's a cutie, but we're going to say orange for the sake of this video. So whenever you peel the orange right here, do you see this white stuff? And it is what is found right underneath the orange skin. And then also, if we peel it, it is what, well, it's going to take me a minute. Hold on, please. Please hold. If we peel it, it is what also is holding the orange together, right? And so when we pull a piece, when we pull it apart, you're going to see other little white pieces here that I'm pulling off, right? And so that, when we talk about the body, just kind of give you a visual, this is called structural fascia, okay? So this is found not only right underneath the skin, but it's in bands that go throughout the body as well. And it is kind of like a bandage type of thing. And then we also have, the second one is interstructural fascia. And what it is, how it explains, I'm not going to get a piece of steak for you. I'm so sorry. But it's like a piece of steak. And whenever you cut into a piece of steak and there's like that, it's like a clearish, whitish, I don't know, substance, that is the fascia that is running all throughout the muscle. And so the structural fascia is kind of like all this stuff. And then the interstructural fascia is like what is found inside, right? So like in and throughout pieces of meat. So that would be our muscles, okay? All right, so the third one is called visceral fascia. And I tried to find some slime in my kids' rooms, but I hate slime and I hate the way this feels. So I'm doing this for you, okay? So that you guys can understand what it is. I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to wash my hands as soon as I'm done touching this, because I don't know why it grosses me out. So does Play-Doh, but anyway, that's neither here nor there. Okay, so Visceral fascia is like slime in the abdominal area, okay? So it's sticky and slimy and wet. And this basically connects to the other fascia, right? But it also connects everything else. So it's just kind of like, I don't know, it's there. It's just like if you were to get cut open and they put your hand inside and it gets all slimy and wet, that is the visceral fascia, okay? So that's the visual for this. This is a little bit different than slime. This is like mega flarp noise putty. But anyway, you get the visual, right? Another way that you can know if you have experienced visceral fascia is whenever you are cooking a turkey for Thanksgiving and you put your hand in the cavity of the turkey to kind of pull out the insides, right? The gizzards and all the stuff, that even if it's in that little bag, and you pull it out and your hand feels slimy, that is visceral fascia that you're touching, okay? So, the fourth fascia is called the spinal fascia, and basically that's 3 layers of fascia, and they all have a name, but all 3 of those layers completely encase the spinal cord, and so that is a really they have a really important job, and that fascia connects everything else to the spinal cord. So fascia, or the connective tissue, is involved in everything in the body. Like I said, it goes through, in between, it simultaneously connects and separates, holds everything together in the body. So now that you know what fascia is, or connective tissue, I can kind of explain a little bit about what cellulite is, and how we can possibly help the body to smooth out the skin on the surface. So, cellulite is actually not the presence of fat, it's actually the fascia that is connecting and around to it. It's all that connective tissue. So that is actually what causes cellulite. And so if anybody has ever had what we call like a knot in our muscle actually doesn't get in a knot, right? But fascia can. And fascia is it's when your fascia is unhealthy. It's like that connective tissue. When the connective tissue is unhealthy, it tightens around whatever it is surrounding, and then that is when you get that knot in your muscle, or that fascial adhesion. And so how we do that is we massage it, or we work it out, right? So we release the tension in that. So what that is called releasing the fascia. And there are people that specialize in this. And I know that there is somebody in the group that has a recommendation for people for releasing fascia and fascia work, and I'll tag her in the video and see if she would be willing to share it. If you guys want it, you can, I'll see if she's okay with me doing that. But so I'm going to be talking specifically, obviously I'm talking specifically, well, not really. I mean, men can have cellulite as well. So I'm not going to say that I'm not speaking specifically to women in this video. But in this particular situation right now, and I'm talking about pregnancy and after pregnancy, that is obviously specifically geared towards women, right? So fascia, when we carry a baby, and after, so we're going to talk about after the baby. So when we're growing the baby, our stomach stretches, right? The muscles stretch, the skin stretches, and that fascia stretches. And so the structural fascia, which is the one found, again, like the orange, it's found underneath the skin. And it also goes through different parts of the body. It's kind of like that, the banding, okay? Like there's like a band. That tears whenever you get pregnant, okay? And so sometimes the interstructural and the visceral can tear as well, not always, but the structural for the most part probably always tears. And after we have the baby, the body tries to heal that, right? Because our body has the innate ability to heal itself as long as we give it what it needs. So the body tries to heal that, and it doesn't normally go back exactly the way it was, right? If you cut something, you can seam it together, but if you tear something, it's really hard to put things back together exactly the way they were. So that's kind of how it is with the fascia, and that's what happens when we have so when that happens, we can end up with like a soft or a dimply belly in the visceral area, right? Because of the torn fascia. And so that can create, that little just things that you don't like. So it can cause, the look of cellulite. And cellulite can also be found everywhere, on your arms, on your thighs, on your, calf muscles, on your back, but wherever, right? And so, when you think about fascia or cellulite, and because we've learned that everything is connected, the connective tissue is called connective tissue, right? So everything is connected through that connective tissue. When we have those fascial adhesions or something that feels tight, and you see like bands, or you see that your skin is dimply, what happens is that fascia is tightening, and it's kind of like when you have those, the balls, it's like a toy ball that kids can play with, and they have the net around it, and when you squeeze it, it like pushes out of the net. That's basically what's happening, is whenever the fascia tightens, the fat is actually like smushed through that netting or pushed through a spider web, and that's what creates that dimpling effect. And so thinking about it, now that you know what fascia is and how it's tight, and I know this is the light version of learning, the basic version of learning about fascia, because there's so much more you can learn. But if you get your wheels turning, then if you know that if you release the fascia, then the effect, the look of cellulite, which is just basically the fat pushing through the tight fascia, if we release the fascia, then the fat won't be pushing through those bands, and then you will not see any fat, and therefore reducing or possibly eliminating cellulite. So there's so much more to learn about cellulite and fascia, which I don't really think cellulite is not the presence of fat necessarily. It's just that when the fascia is tight. So there's a lot more you can learn about it. I know I just said that, but I just wanted to give you a little bit of information. This one's going to be a little bit longer of a video than I wanted it to be, but I have been using a tool that I'm going to link below to help get rid of my cellulite and to help with the health of my connective tissue, which is a whole nother video. The body's fascinating. Obviously, you guys know that I think that. But I just wanted to give you a little bit of information about cellulite and the fact that we don't have to keep it. If we release our fascia, then we can greatly improve the appearance of cellulite on the body. So I will link that below, and I look forward to any questions that you guys have, or if you want more information, if you guys want me to give you some links, or if you want me to do a different video about fascia and connective tissue, let me know, and I hope you guys have a great day.